Is the ring I'm wearing a Nazi symbol? Here's the ring. I woke up with this colorful accessory after a night out. I don't know who it belongs to. Probably some man. Because it's way too big for me. Anyway, I'm having a bit of a discussion about this with my friends. The way I see it, the symbol isn't tilted, which technically makes it a Buddhist swastika rather than a Hitler's cross. Regardless, I'm not a fan of the work of that silly mustache man, and I don't think I'll be wearing the ring in public lol. But I'm still really curious about the meaning behind it. The symbol isn't tilted, which technically makes it a Buddhist swastika rather than a Hitler's cross. Not exactly. Nazis used swastikas all over the place. They weren't always at an angle. Whether or not it's a Buddhist symbol depends more on the source and intention. Regardless, people will look at it and decide for themselves. Looks like a Nazi symbol even if it's not. A lot of people will look at it and judge it as that. Wear it in public and people are going to make assumptions. Potentially quite violent assumptions. If you don't remember someone giving you a swastika ring, might be worth checking yourself for swastika tattoos. Is it a Nazi symbol? Not technically. Would my Jewish ass want to take the chance to ask you? Hell no. Not worth putting myself in danger just to give you the benefit of the doubt. You can wear it if you want, but people are going to assume you're a Nazi. You'd be arrested in Germany. Does that answer the question? Probably not, but I would lose the ring anyways. Yeah, lose the thing. And pace yourself when you drink. Just remember all the people assaulted from behind because their red baseball cap looked similar to the ones on the news. I will be more worried about waking up without remembering who the F gave me a ring than about a swastika. But whatever, I guess. I would mistake it for a Nazi symbol and frankly not believe someone who tried to argue it wasn't. Because I can't see a reason someone would want to wear anything that close to it. I'd get rid of it. I am Jewish and would not feel safe around anyone wearing that symbol. You might not be a Nazi. The ring you wear might not be made for a Nazi. But don't be surprised if people take you for a Nazi when you wear it, as it's fairly obvious that you are not a Buddhist temple. The kanji manji means Buddhist temple and isn't used for much else than noting down temple locations on maps. So you can be fairly certain you swiped a Nazi ass's favorite ring. The swastika has been a spiritual symbol in a number of cultures for a very long time. Unfortunately, Hitler pretty much co-opted it and bunged it up forever. Sort of like toothbrush mustaches and boys being named Adolf. To say nothing of WW2 and the Holocaust. I don't think I'd wear that either. People will not be attuned to these niceties and either get confrontational or silently judge you and withdraw. Yeah, I would definitely not wear this. Whether or not it's far too close. People will assume. It's not the tilt, only the tilt. The Nazis always used the right pointing form of the swastika wand, while the Buddhist symbol always leans left wand. This said, everyone is just gonna see a Nazi swastika. So better not wear it around. Paint over it with a dot of nail varnish and twist it to the back. That way you can still wear it, but no one will think you're making a nod to Hitler. A couple of things to point out. The Nazi swastika is usually at a 45 degrees angle, but not always. The swastika Nazi flag is that symbol at 45 degrees, in a white circle with a red background. Remove even one of those and technically it's not that flag. It's also the Tibetan symbol when not skewed 45 degrees. But not always. Kinda a minefield. But all this is redundant. If the average person sees you wearing it, they're unlikely to give you the benefit of the doubt or entertain this nuance. and will assume you're blatantly and openly wearing a Nazi ring. Silly mustache man? You serious? Here's the thing. Wearing a swastika, a normal or a Nazi one, is going to make people think you're a Nazi. At the very least, people are going to question it if they see it. At this point in history, nobody's going to see it as Buddhist. Maybe you can wear it in 200 years. You're a person with white skin asking if you should wear a swastika? What is wrong with you? Return to Castle Wolfenstein immediately. Notify Herr Himmler we found him. Doesn't matter what it means, you already know what everyone who sees it is going to assume. White person with a swastika ring. Nobody will understand it as a Buddhist symbol. Silly mustache man is also quite trivializing. Seems you might want to look into the topic a bit more and find out how fucked up wearing this ring really is. He's obsessed with the Third Reich. He gets it from his father. His man cave is all Hitler swag. If you have to ask, you know. First thought Nazi. The swastika manji design on the ring is taken from the anime Tokyo Revengers. Zooming on it and searching it brings up a bunch of cheap Chinese-made rings with the design on it. Just like the one pictured. I'd have zero doubt that there's some Nazi imbeciles out there wearing it for their own though. Not something I would keep or wear. Swastikas have been used as symbols all over the world in almost every culture. My reason for assuming it is Nazi is the rest of the ring. The design, materials and colors tells me it is a new design. Most likely not a traditional item but rather something meant to reflect modern-day values. While Buddhism is present in modern societies, I'd say Nazis have more interest in using this symbol in this context. And why on earth would a Buddhist place it on your finger? Take care with whom you leave yourself sleeping with at, and discard the ring. Regardless if the symbol's pre-WW2 history, the Nazis kinda ruined it forever. Don't wear that lol. Unfortunately, that symbol was co-opted by the Nazis and across the world. It's most widely associated with genocide despite being an already established symbol. I would assume it's pro-Nazi if I saw you wearing that. In Germany you will get your ass kicked and or get arrested for that. Technically it may be a Buddhist thing but, buddy, it's a fucking swastika. You know it. Everyone knows it. It's a fucking swastika. Both the line's direction and rotation of it depicted as that of the religious swastika. It would be the opposite way and would be on its axis if it were the Nazi swastika. Chances are you'll wind up with some ignorant folks judging it as a Nazi swastika. It's an ancient and important symbol to lots of peoples before the Nazis tainted it by association. Some people are trying to reclaim it today. Do you strongly that you want to be part of that movement? In so doing, do you want to have multiple conversations per day explaining how it's not a Nazi thing? And also have some people not hear your explanation or maybe harbor some doubts anyway? If that doesn't sound like it's for you, then probably the ring isn't worth the baggage. You just shouldn't wear that, unless you are looking for conflict. The swastika is at least 40k years old. I have an old Navajo blanket. That was my grandfather's that he got in the 1920s. With swastikas all over it. People do associate it with the Nazis though. For obvious reasons. Which is a shame. Maybe it's time people take it back. No. That's the Buddhist one. Notice it's reversed. That being said, most people who see it probably won't understand that. And won't be able to be convinced otherwise. So I'd probably not wear it. Just for your own safety. The rainbow finish seems a bit gay for the Nazis. If I saw that ring, I would not jump to Nazi simply because of the rainbow. You can be technically correct in this situation. Or you can have people not mistake you for a Nazi. You can't have both.